let's go to the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. Let's talk James Madison, who snaps, made it to a bowl game, snaps. After not enough six and
Somehow.
six
That's
teams, after not enough 6-6 teams qualified for bowl games, they're going to be playing against Air Force, another pretty good team in their own right. JMU
mhm.
-2.5. So Air Force, the underdog in this game. James Madison, they lose Kurt Signetti, right? He goes to Indiana. There's a slew of players in the transfer portal, but it feels like a lot of those players are going to play. Am I incorrect in saying that? It feels like a lot of these guys are going to play. I don't know for sure.
I'm going to go under the assumption. All the reports I have seen is that all of those players, just about all of them, will play, right? Which to me tells you a lot of different things. They're coming in, and yes, they have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. That's tough too, but also like they want to finish what they started here, and prove to everyone that why they should have been in a bowl game, why they should have been in the Sun Belt Championship, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously get a one last FU to the NCAA before they're on their way out. It's tough to pick against Air Force in the Armed Forces Bowl, though, right? Not they kind of slowed down by at the end there. Zach Lear getting hurt had a lot to do with that, but at the same time, like James
He might
Madison
be
has done it.
back. Later
Well,
might be back.
that's the thing. So you never know how it's going to happen. We talked about it with Fresno State, right? Streaking and that, or skidding down, and then had a great game in the bowl game. But then Georgia Southern on the other side of the coin was struggling too down the stretch, and that continued to struggle as well into the bowl game. Who knows how you can predict all that kind of stuff? What's your feeling on this game?
I like JMU, and I know I've taken the favorite every single game. And look, I promise there's going to be some underdog or two today that I will be picking, but it's not going to be this one. Yeah, if you're going to tell me that pretty much everyone James Madison's going to be playing this game, like that roster, excluding Jalen Green, who obviously is going to be in the NFL, he's going to be a stud.
Yeah,
I I gotta take JMU. One of the best run defenses in the entire country, right? And frankly, not even close, right? So if they're gonna have a chance here to shut down Air Force in the run game, now Air Force when Zach Larry is in the game, they're very efficient passing the ball, but efficient doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna be consistently. How do I say this? They can't throw the ball a ton. They run the triple option, right? Troy Calhoun's a great coach, and here's the thing: Air Force wins bowl games. That's what they do. That's what they do. They win bowl games, and they're really good at it. But at the same time, this is James Madison's first bowl game. If you think they're not going to be fired up and ready to go, Jordan McLeod's not going to win this game. Maybe booster up his transfer portal hype, I guess. It seems like he's playing this game. If he doesn't, then I would probably be taking Air Force here. But with the assumption that Jordan McLeod and crew is playing besides Jalen Green, I will be taking the Dukes. Sorry, Air Force. Is that unpatriotic? I don't know.
it's a shame. You can still pick James Madison and still be happy when Air Force wins. I'm gonna go James Madison as well here. You mentioned the talent they have on that roster, especially in that front seven, and even minus Jalen Green, I don't feel too bad about it. Yes, he's a dominant player in his own right, but also like you don't really need to rush the passer. You need to plug up gaps, play sound physical defense, which I believe they can do. The only thing that does hurt is you have five coaches going, five assistant coaches,
Yeah.
and your head coach going to Indiana, and they had to hire five temporary coaches. Now I'm sure they hired some guys that are familiar with triple option and the way Air Force runs it, which is a little bit interesting than your traditional triple option, but it's still similar principles in its own right. But I think it speaks volume that they want to come back. These players, I think that means a lot. And most of the time in bowl games, just like who wants to be there, how well do you prep, yada yada yada. That all matters. And I think like they're going to care about this football game. They want to go in and be dominant, put a statement on their time at James Madison before they move on to bigger and better pastures. But yeah, it's tough for Air Force. So they just limp down the stretch. Larry got hurt. We don't know for sure if he's playing. It sounds like hopefully he'll be back. But even so, who knows with the way James Madison's just been a wagon all year.
Yeah, and this could be one of those games though. We look back on and we're like, all right, we probably should have seen some of these guys actually opting out last second. And we probably should have seen it coming where Air Force was just able to run all over them, given that they have like an entire new coaching staff for
Yeah.
just this game. But I'll trust the talent, I guess, on JMU, and I'll trust the success they've had this season, and I'll trust the vibes. I'll trust the hey, these guys want to win their program's first ever bowl game, so I'll trust that. And what am I doing if I'm not riding the Sun Belt in these bowl games? What am I doing? What am I doing if I'm
They're
not riding the Sun Belt?
you think they're what they're sending what, 11 or 12 people
Yeah,
going to the bowl game? Like they're gonna be fired
yeah.
up to play,
Now
minus
they're
Georgia Southern.
they're 0-4 so far in the bowl games, but guess what?
That
They
changes.
can finish 8-4. Come on, Dukes. Come
No,
on,
no, they got
Dukes.
one win. App State got a win there. They're
Oh,
they're, they're
that's right.
chilling.
So they're 1-4. Because Georgia Southern lost, Louisiana lost, Old Dominion lost, and Marshall lost.
Sheesh. Yeah, but that's also the bottom of the barrel. We're talking about the class of the Sun Belt here and James Madison Dukes. Also, when Braden Schrager, who I love, by the way, late night Mountain West, when he balls out against Hawaii, Jordan McLeod can do the same here. I do think even if you get in a shootout here where you have to score multiple times in a row, right? When Zach Lear and company is just driving it down the teeth of that defense there because they have no idea how to stop triple option. That coaching staff has no idea how to adjust. I still think Jordan McLeod and those guys can still get you a win, and that's why I feel pretty good about taking James Madison. Not going to bet on it for sure, but that's why I feel pretty good.
It'd be irresponsible to bet on it.
Again, yeah, this is again we talked about it with the game, the USF Syracuse game, because of all the opt outs and the uncertainty and the quarterback position. Who knows? Like it's going to be those games where like you can live bet bowl games and feel pretty good about it. You can see what happens when they show up and whatnot. But except if you're Old Dominion in Western Kentucky. But um,
Thank you.
but yeah, to predict how these guys are gonna go and actually put money behind it is tough in a lot of these football games.